So we're an even 2 weeks away from the season starting. Texas football is. Uh, man, I'm very excited. A lot of times after your team has a year that went the way the year went for us last year, um, you've got sort of a sick feeling in your stomach. You're thinking, I don't want to go through that again. And you just don't have a lot of confidence in your team, and you're sort of feeling that you just don't want to see that happen again. So you've kind of got this bitter feeling about the season starting. I don't know. I think part of it is, and I don't think it's just me, but I think it's just being a Texas fan. Is that you know how good this team is and how good the coaches are on this team, and it's so shocking to see a year go the way it went for us last year. So you just have such a confident feeling that we're gonna bounce back, and um, the team's looking really good. On paper, I don't know. We've got a lot of issues with that quarterback position now. I can't tell if it's a very good thing or a very bad thing that no one quarterback has made themselves the ultimate guy for this year, but I'm gonna guess it's a bad thing because none of those quarterbacks really have that great look about them. Garrett Gilbert's got the experience in Case McCoy, and he's Colt McCoy's brother, so we don't really know anything about him. We're just hoping that, we're just hoping from genetics that he'll be great too. um, Connor Wood is probably, as far as mechanics goes, the best out of all of them. And David Ash, a true freshman. Nothing wrong with starting a true freshman, but Connor Wood, redshirt freshman. So we've got a lot of options. We got a lot of options that we can look at, but one of those guys really needs to step up and make themselves the guy. Um, because we can't be in there first game of the year trying to jostle around four quarterbacks. I think we're going to learn a lot about this team right off the bat this year, though, guys. Not Rice, obviously. No matter what happens, I think we're just going to beat Rice every year. That's just our warm up game. That's our exhibition game. But what I see from this team is just that we have BYU and UCLA and Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, all there right in the first few weeks of the season. I mean, BYU, we're at home, and it's going to be. I don't know what to expect from BYU, but there's a team that can usually bring a lot to the table. Last couple of years they've really been coming along, but UCLA certainly. They returned a lot of guys from last year's team that just creamed us. And it was hard to tell what it was last year, if it was more them or if it was more us that caused that, shellacking that took place. But still, the team's going to have a lot of confidence coming in against us because of what happened last year. So we need to make sure that that doesn't happen again. But it's certainly something that could happen again. I think after last year, it'll be hard for this team to have the same sense of entitlement that they did last season because of, just the. I mean, you'd think after getting pounded a few times, you'd lose that sense of entitlement, but we didn't ever seem to lose that last year. But after a season like last, I think it's pretty obvious that, or it should be pretty obvious to these guys, with new coaches coming in, guys getting fired and things like that, no one's job is safe. Manny Diaz certainly said that about the defense, that every job is open. No one's got a guaranteed start. I'm disappointed that we lost Will Muschamp. I really am. He's a great defensive coordinator, but I really don't think we could have found a better guy to replace him than Manny Diaz. I mean, he's a guy who really, really knows how to defend the spread because he's been, coaching the SEC for a few years now in Mississippi State. And Mississippi State was very good last year. A lot better than us, that's for sure. And their defense was phenomenal. Michigan was supposed to have an almost unstoppable offense, and in the Gator Bowl, look what happened. Manny Diaz shut down that offense. But I'm just so excited about this year. Brian Harsin, I really don't know much about him. He is at Boise State. I can tell you one thing. If he ever runs the Statue of Liberty at Texas, I'm going to not be a big fan. I'm not going to be a big fan. Texas is a school. You don't run the Statue of Liberty at Texas. You go play action. You run straight up the middle, and you pass from the shotgun. That's what you do in Texas. You run a standard, normal offense. You don't pull crap like that. It might be great for a big blowout when we're blowing somebody out, and you pull one of those silly plays out like the hook and line or whatever that is, the toss back play, something like that. It could be good for a blowout, but I don't want to win a game off some bogus, stupid play that this guy decided to pull out from his grade school offensive playbook. I think we'll get back to 10 wins this year, though. To be honest, I think 10 wins is a realistic goal for us. I mean, I don't know that you should expect it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got 10 wins. Our defense looks like it will be very good. Manny Diaz was saying that he could easily picture himself playing up to 11 guys on that defensive line, which would make us very, very hard to stop. Last year, we didn't have a whole lot of depth there on the line, which is something we have had for several years. Is depth on the offensive line. And really something we've had, I guess, mainly since Will Muschamp showed up. There's a lot of depth on that line. And there's going to be a lot of guys there with the ability to play. Now, obviously, I don't think we're going to play 11 guys all year, but I could, expect to see 6 to 8 guys up there, I guess. That would make us really hard to stop, always rotating fresh guys in and out. Some of those guys are very, very good. Alex Okafor, Jackson Jeffcoat, Keyshawn Randall, very, very talented guys that we're going to be rotating in and out. And, I just look for us to be a physical team this year. We weren't that last year, at least on the defensive side of the ball. We should be physical. I said over and over and over again last year that we wanted to run this physical I-form downhill running game, and we would not run Cody Johnson. I think he got the most carries out of anyone on the team, sure, but he also got the most yards, and he also got the most touchdowns, which makes sense. He had the most success running the football out of anyone, and we didn't even have a good offensive line last year. He was the only running back for us to break 100 yards last year, and he did it twice. So, to me, that really states that he was the guy. Now, we also have this great freshman running back coming in. Wow, his name escapes me right now. But anyway, I wouldn't, as far as Fozzie Whitaker goes, or any other running back, DJ Monroe, I wouldn't run anyone all that much, except for this freshman that we've got coming in. I want to give him a shot, obviously, but Cody Johnson should be the main guy for the type of offense that we're wanting to run. Cody Johnson needs to be the main guy. And we didn't do that last year. We didn't have a many running back last year. Fozzie Whitaker, sure, let him run out of the shotgun every now and then. Use him as a receiver, even. Because we don't look like we're going to be that deep at the receiver spot. We lost John Childs and James Kirkendall off last year's team. And Malcolm Williams, he wasn't good anyway. So, we don't look a whole very deep. So if our running game isn't successful, then I don't see if our running game hasn't improved a lot since last year. It's going to be tough for us on offense. But our defense should win a lot of games for us. We'll be a little shaky on the offensive end, but I think our defense will be fantastic. We've got a new strength and conditioning coach out there, and if you've seen pictures of this guy, you'll be a believer. But I'm excited to see the offense be more than the defense because I have so much confidence in the defense. The offense last year was horrible. It made the defense look even worse because it set the defense up with short fields and put the defense on the field constantly. Things of that nature that never help out a defense. Uh, so, and Greg Davis, last year, he gave us all a headache, didn't he? So, I'm sad to see him go because he put together the whole Colt McCoy offense and things like that. But um, so in a way, I'm sad to see him go. But I'm also just ready for this fresh start. He did not do much for me last year, or any other Texas fan, I'm pretty sure. Uh, but if we can manage to make our way through, let's see, I guess that first 6 weeks of the season, um, then we should be fine. I think we'll be fine if we can make it through that first 6 weeks of the year. Um, obviously Rice isn't gonna, like I said, Rice isn't gonna be too big of a deal. Then we got Brigham Young, UCLA, Iowa State should be, an automatic win, but you don't know. We lost to them last year for the first time ever, so you don't know. Then we've got the big game, Oklahoma in week 5, and in week 6, we've got Oklahoma State. So if we can make it through that first 6 weeks with only one loss, or two, even two, because we could potentially lose to BYU, UCLA, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State. So if we come out with only 2 losses, I'm happy. Hopefully, we can beat either Oklahoma or Oklahoma State because that's the people we really want to beat. If we come out and lose to both of them but beat BYU and UCLA, I'd still be pretty happy, I guess, but you'd rather see us win one of those 2 big games instead of one of the 2 regular, tests but not huge games that we'll face. So if we can come out with only 2 losses, I think we'll be in pretty good shape for the rest of the season. Obviously that's half the season. We've got our toughest stuff in the first half. But with all the changes going around in the Big 12, it's just gonna be Oklahoma and Texas. This year I think you'll see Oklahoma State and Texas A&M maybe make a run at some things, but year in and year out, you're just going to see Oklahoma and Texas battling away for the Big 12. It's how it's been for a long time, but it's going to be even more so now, and to pretty much the point that you can almost guarantee the fact that Texas or Oklahoma is going to make the championship game. I'd say one of those 2 teams is making it 3 out of every 5 years. I'm going to say that because, especially if A&M leaves and goes to the SEC, it's who else is going to be there to challenge those 2 teams? No one. They're just going to be. It's pretty much going to be the winner of those of that game between Texas and Oklahoma. Red River rivalry will be in the championship game. It's it was that way for a long time with Michigan and Ohio State, and I think it's going to become that way with Texas and Oklahoma. We'll see. That's way down the road. We're just talking about next year. So I think 10 wins is realistic for us. Feel free to comment, put a video back, tell me what you think. But I'm hoping and thinking for 10 wins, especially hope. Hook 'em horns. See you out there in 2 weeks.